Let's have a beautiful experience. In this video, we're going to talk about splurging, how to naturally raise your testosterone, your human growth hormone, and make your penis bigger. It's a beautiful thing. You gotta love it. Alright, before we get started here, please do me a huge favor. Please ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, make sure you give me that Earth Defines Rally thumbs up like so I say hey, and of course, make sure you're following me on my social media. I go by Jesus_Detroit on my Instagram, Snapchat, I'm YOUNGDAYGO. And you know what we're all about here in the BCC. We're talking about splurging because the Big Cock Consciousness, the Big Cock Collective, where I help you manifest a bigger, wider, thicker, longer, stronger, and harder penis. Help you naturally raise your testosterone and your HGH. I'm a spiritual guide and a mentor here to expand your mind and increase your size. So without further ado, I'm here to tell you about splurging. And yes, every single day is a beautiful gift. You just got to go ahead and unwrap it. And that's one of my favorite quotes to start this off with. And you know what? We might as well go ahead and get the breath of gratitude, which is what I start every single day, every single way, before my feet hit the ground, before I got a breath I can recollect. It's one of the most beautiful ways to start it off right. Go ahead and take this breath with me. I got a shot today. I feel beautiful because gratitude is the attitude. Every single day, you got to be happy that you got a breath in your lungs. You got a shot today. A shot at what? A shot at life. And that's a beautiful thing because you know what? Everybody out there battling their own, their own thing. And the fact that you got to wake up today and you got a shot to essentially make whatever you want to do, that's a reason to celebrate and, go ahead and splurge today. And, of course, when we're talking about naturally raising your testosterone, human growth hormone, and following protocols of certain types of diets and what have you, and whatever type of way that you might want to go about it. Like I said, there's millions of different ways to do this. It's a 2-way, 3-way, 4-way. People just appearing up and down the street to tell you how you got to be. And the most important way to go and way to grow is the feel. And when you're feeling yourself and you're understanding that, what works for this guy might not particularly work for you. And you got to understand that the things that you like and you enjoy, you got to bring them up with you. So if you're somebody that, you like drinking beer like myself, cutting it out of your diet would be a huge mistake if you're trying to, either make gains or try to, lose weight. You got to make sure it's with you every step of the way because you don't want to throw your body out of whack when you start reintroducing things that, that you enjoy. And it's like if you like cookies and that kind of thing, like you got to make sure that you're getting them on a day-to-day. Now, that, it could be, that's said with a grain of salt because people, if you're like all new to your diet and you're all out of whack and that you got to make a drastic change and, you have no discipline whatsoever. You lack discipline, you know what I mean? You got to discipline your image. Think anybody wants to take a roundhouse to the side of the head while wearing these bad boys? Didn't think so. Now, you sign up for my 8-week program. I just had to hit you with a Rex Kwon right off rip, Napoleon Dynamite. You might not even know about it, but it's something that makes me laugh. Because, me, I'm a movie buff, man. And the smile is divine. It's made inside the mind. If you're laughing, you're doing something right. But when we're talking about splurging today, we're talking about, whatever diet that you choose and the things that you gotta do to make you. Like I say, all truths are true. You just find the ones to make you. So when we're going with that flow, understand that if you want to grow, you intend on growing, and you intend on burning more weight and naturally raising the testosterone, and of course making that huge piece of meat swing at the knees and throb to the pecs, making you your best. We're talking about getting out of your own way, bringing the things that you like to enjoy along the way. I mean, if you're like Noah loading your ark, you got to make sure you bring all the stuff to the promised land, because that's where we're going, the promised land of gains. We're going to the promise of the growth, and you are the one that's going to be accountable, and you can count Me waiting for you in the parking lot. I had to hit you with a Mr. Larson right off the rip. You know how we're going with this. We're talking about, you want to make sure that you're enjoying the ride along the way. And the thing that you got to look at it like, essentially, if you're doing something that you haven't done, you're doing a million miles compared to somebody that's constantly doing it. And what I mean by that is your body acclimates along the way, which is why you got to constantly be changing things up, shifting up gears, popping the clutch, and just, you know what I'm talking about, riding it in. You know what I mean? Because along the way, like if you're somebody that doesn't do cardio and you intend on losing weight, adding 1 day of cardio is a million miles more than somebody that's doing 5 days of cardio, because that person's acclimated to their homeostasis of what they're already becoming. And that's something that, I've learned along the way, that doing too much, you can do too much of something and burn out your results because you're not changing things up. But what you can do is you can change up your diet when you're in these types of scenarios. And these are things that I'm continuously learning and growing, and it's always coming to me. And this is what you're doing. You are your own, you're your own meter in this. You can't take anybody's word for it unless, like I said, if you're throwing darts in the dark, you might want to, you got to find somewhere to start. And if you're like somebody that's completely lost and you have no clue, like I said, anything and everything will work. So go ahead and write that down. Anything and everything will help me grow. And that's a beautiful mantra to let you know that you're on the right path. Another one is things are always working out for me. Hit you with some Abraham Hicks. You know how we do. And when we're talking about those, positive mantras and just making things, helping you understand that you're growing, splurging is definitely one of the most beautiful ways to help you out. And like I say, you got people that do essentially different types of diets. You got people that are vegans. You got people that eat McDonald's and fast food. And you got a variety of bodies and sizes of all walks of life having every single type of diet. And you're the one that's got to decide, like, you know what, do you want McDonald's in your life? Do you like it that much? Then you're going to want to bring it with you. If you're somebody that's like, you know what, I feel like I'm eating battery acid and Play-Doh, I feel like it's throwing me down the drain, then you got to scrap it for now. And then eventually you might want to come back and evaluate it later, because it's never done. You're going to always continuously go. You're going to always continuously grow. And that's just how the flow goes. I mean, it's never done. You know what I mean? We're never finished. So we got to just keep going and keep manifesting what we, intend on becoming. And you're going to be changing things up along the way to really, help yourself out. And when we're talking about splurging, what's splurging to you could be a strict diet to another person. And what's a strict diet to that guy could be like a cheat day to you. And I know that might sound kind of crazy, but, like I said, man, you look at people that, that are taking like, the vegan diet to like, hardcore, and it's just like, you're eating these berries and fruits, and you have alkaline water, and you're going down the holistic rabbit hole of this, that, and the other. And you know what? There's a guy eating McDonald's that's shredded with a six-pack, and he can, and he looks great with his shirt off, and he's thriving. And not to say that you're not thriving, eating your, your berries and your, what have you, and your high vibe food that makes you, that gives you, clears out my pineal gland, and I could dream at night. And I'm just telling you, people can still dream without having to, go vegan. You know what I mean? That's not like the end all be all. What it all comes down to is what works for you. And I'm not saying that being a vegan is bad or good or whatever. I'm saying that for some people it's a beautiful thing. For other people it might not work. And there's no need to be a jerk about it. You know what I mean? It's just like, you don't have to, like some people, have like, you identify with how you eat, because, that's part of what we are in a sense. Like I say, food connects cultures, which is why I like to, I'm a passionate cook myself, and I like to be able to have that availability to eat anything and not, disrespect anybody's culture. I mean, even though if you got to eat some, some fish eyes and some, you got to eat I'll eat a slug on a rock that's good for your cock. I mean, that's essentially what an oyster is anyways. I mean, there's cheaper ways of eating hot sauce. But be as it may, you know, I enjoy things that, you know, are good for me. And I always find the good side of anything and everything that I do. Because no matter what, there's a beautiful side for everything that you're doing, no matter what. And always be on that positive side. And like I said, man, you could be looking at, like, you know, some people are going to be on these Nazi diets where they take sugar out of their life. And that's, you know, like I said, that's not for me. And you know what? If that works for you, beautiful. But I mean, you got these, you know, you got people out there that they swear by, oh yeah, I go no sugar and I go alkaline. Well, it's like, all right, man, what are you, a robot? You know, I mean, it's like, you know, you watch one of the most lit interviews that you can ever see, and I preached this before, is Dr. Amin Ra, and he's the vegan bodybuilder, and he's one of the guys that got me into the whole fasting fad. And you know, you could look at my you know, some of my previous videos where I was really into it, talking about doing like 76 hours, 96-hour fasts, and you know, I felt them all, I've done them all, and I continuously, you know, do fasts daily, but I'm only doing about, you know, 15 hours on a day-to-day, and that works for me. You know, sometimes it might be 13 or 12 or whatever, but you know, nonetheless, I always gotta, you know, I'm always a guy that I find keeping it clear in the beginning is what works for me. And like I say, if you want beauty to appear, you gotta keep this clear. You gotta be a clear conduit for growth. And like I said, intermittent fasting might not be something that can work for you, but for me it works perfectly, because I like to eat big when I do eat. And I, you know, like me and my brother, we're at the airport the other day, and we're watching this kid eat his hamburger, and it's just like, my brother's, he's like, look at this guy. He's like, he's not done yet. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, but then I look at it from an open perspective. I'm like, maybe we just eat really fast. I mean, the way we were raised, we slam stuff down. That's the way our dad did it. And it's the way that we, you know, continue. It's how we eat. And that's why intermittent fasting is something that really works beautifully for a guy like me, because, you know, when I get my food, I don't care if I'm eating every 3 hours or every 2 hours. I'm eating fast, and I'm eating big. I'm eating huge. That's how I go. I mean, it's like nothing for me to gain mass. And that's why, you know, keeping it shut down for me is one of the best options for, you know, just the way it works for me. And like I said, today I got to splurge a little bit. Every single day is different, you know, and I've been incorporating more food when I'm at the gym and more protein in my life to help me, you know, increase my size, which are, you know, collective beliefs anyways. You know, when we're talking about high protein diets, it's something that you can tap into, and that's something that you can utilize for yourself to help you, you know, manifest, you know, more muscle mass. And we're talking about splurging, like, you know, I got to make myself, you know, some protein waffles before I hit the gym. And I know that might sound like, that's like, you know, my healthy day for somebody, but to me that was like a quick splurge. And that's you know, something I got to feel happy about. And then of course, you know, I got, you know, Kerrygold Irish butter, which is, you know, some of the best butter out there, I'm going to tell you what. And when you're, you know, you get into the whole, even the holistic people, and like I said, like the whole, you know, the whole pyramid is flipped upside down in this day and age, where, you know, like how back in the day they want you to eat a whole lot of bread, now they want you to eat a whole lot of fats. And some other guy's going to tell you why eating fat's bad, but because it may, there's a huge study and a huge flow and a huge energy on eating fats being good. So if you get on that side of the ride, then you can just ride that wave like a streamlined butterfly. Had to hit you with that. Gone in 60 seconds. Donnie, lowrider. Okay, let's ride. We're talking about, you know, keeping, you know, splurging a little bit. And I even put some butter in my coffee to see what that's about. These are like tips and tricks that you can be doing along the way, because essentially when you're on an intermittent fast, you are drinking nothing but green tea and black coffee all day until it's time to break that fast. And that's something that I do. I used to do it where I would go like 22 hours, but now I'm at the point where I'm doing about 15 hours is where I break it. And I got to break it before I went to the gym with them beautiful waffles, and it really made me happy. And then of course I have my butter coffee, and then when I got off the Stairmaster, you know, I had my, you know, my banana and my granola, and then I had my, you know, my protein shake, and then I finished my, you know, my workout, and then I got home and I got to eat me some, you know, some Girl Scout cookies, man. That's the type of year that we're in, and man, I've been killing that. I killed, you know, a couple boxes of them. And that's something that, you know, that's one of my favorite, it's one of my favorite cookies, man. Those little angels out there selling some of the best. And my two favorites are the Samoas, which is the coconut caramel ones, and the Tag-Along, which is the peanut butter one. Two favorite cookies. The rest of them, you know, I could care less about. I mean, if you like Thin Mints, I mean, you know, you must like, you know, eating stuff after you brush your teeth. Because to me, that's a waste. You know, I don't believe in that. You know, but I mean, to each their own, man. If you like the Thin Mint, we can still be friends, man. That's cool with me. You know, say more Samoas for me. But like I said, go ahead and write down what your favorite Girl Scout cookie is, if you even know what they are. If maybe you like smoking Girl Scout cookies, that's up. You know, that's on you. But be as it may, we're talking about splurging, changing things up to help yourself grow. And one of the most important things that you ought to know is it's all your mind that's creating it anyways. And like I gotta say, you know it's time to grow, and I'm getting into my flow with the mind and muscle connection, letting you know that energy is always there for you to grab. You know, it's, you know, like that was the quote that came to me today is in the quantum physics is energy is neither destroyed nor created, it just is. And that means that it like, I'm thinking of a Joe Dirt line, it just does. How does a rainbow go? It just does. And like Forrest Gump, stupid is as stupid does. I'm getting a quick pump right here. I'm letting you know that you can grab it at any given time. It's always around you whenever you got to increase your size. And that's one of the most important ways that you can really feel the growth. And it doesn't matter about what you're eating. And like I said, all this stuff is a story that you're telling yourself anyways, and you want to change up things to help you manifest the best. But it's your mind that is the wielder of muscle. As Paramahansa Yogananda says, the one that brought yoga to the West, helping people become their best. Steve Jobs intends on all of us to read that book, and he's the one that says the people that believe they're crazy enough to change the world are the ones that do. I say salute. That's a beautiful thing. And of course, let's hit it off with some positive mantras while I'm right here with my long hair flowing, skin glowing, body growing, spirit knowing I'm doing something right. So we're going to share my favorites for you to be, you know, on the right path to help yourself grow. And one of my favorite flows to say along the day is I am magic, I am divine, and the universe is on my side. So go ahead and say that, write it down, really feel that. And then of course, you know, things are always working out for me. Thank you, Abraham Hicks. Go ahead and say that. And then of course, you know, for the muscles, you got to put some gratitude into what you have. I am so happy and grateful that my huge, beautiful muscles are growing bigger, harder, stronger, more defined, abundantly. I'm so happy and grateful that my huge, beautiful penis is growing bigger, wider, thicker, longer, stronger, and harder, abundantly. And then when you got to get one last rep out, you don't have to count those, you can count on me waiting for you. I'm getting you a double, Mr. Larson, while I'm getting this huge, juicy pump going. You know how we be growing. And what I got to say is whenever you got to get one last rep out, don't even count on them. Just go ahead and just feel it and scream it whenever you got to, or at least just scream it in your head and just go ahead and feel this. I am magic, I am divine, and I can increase my size. Oh yeah, 2020, getting lit, getting ripped, taking trips, getting huge. It's a beautiful thing, man. That's what it's all about. Talking about growing into the giants that we are, man. The huge giants of love. Not worrying about them little gremlins at your feet or stomping on your best friend's house, because we're huge. We're spreading that love. Got that huge piece of meat. Throw it between the pecs. Give it a kiss. How are you doing? We're doing beautiful. And for that, I say salute. Oh, yeah. I got my lemon in there, you know. For all you holistic types, keep me high vibe. Yeah, it's really high vibe. It helps ground me. It really keeps me hydrated, and it just, you know, it's you know, it helps me out. It helps clear my pineal gland, and these are things that you can, of course, put into you if you really believe them, anyways. And you know, essentially, this is you know, it's mostly water, and I really believe beer is something so beautiful for me, and you know, I appreciate what I do. I believe what I'm putting into me is good, and that's how you should feel about what you're doing. But if this is something that's taking you away from your present moment, taking you away from your life, that's where you got to evaluate. And that's why I don't condone the use of drugs or alcohol, but I don't condone the use of you not being you, because you got to be alive, you got to be loose. There's even like, you know, the Tao practices and people that talk about, you know, having some fun and lightening up. And, you know, some people can ride that wave and other people, you know, they drown. But for me, you know, I'm riding my wave of life. For that, say salute. That's a beautiful thing. We gotta love it. Oh yeah. So with that, we're talking about, go ahead, splurge it up, change it up. When you're talking about doing your diet, at least make sure that you're, you know, you're incorporating your program and you're, you know, you got some discipline to it, because it's not just, you know, if you're somebody that's just been eating gummy bears and Oreos. I threw an antler at you. I don't know why this. I love going in 60 seconds. But you know what we're talking about. If you're somebody that eats sloppy and you know you eat sloppy, then of course you're gonna have to start, you know, chopping it down and slicing it right to get you on that, you know, on that path. Because I guarantee, you know, you change one thing out of your, you know, out of your diet. Like if you're somebody that drinks a lot of soda, you know, pop. You cut that out, you know, the truth is people lose 10 pounds. And if you're somebody that really drinks a lot of it, and then you're going to find things like that helps you along the way. But like I'm saying, if you like Coke and all that stuff, and we're talking about, you know, drinking pop, if you're going to want to you're going to want to load that up in your ark when you're going on your diet extravaganza, on your journey, because you don't want to, like I said, if you're leaving it ashore and that's something that you want to bring with you, then you're gonna, like, when it comes back into your life, it might throw you out of whack. Needless to say, maybe you want to take a break from it. I mean, you can put things on, you know, you can put things on a shelf for a while, and that's something that you might, you know, quitting cold turkey might be one of the best moves that you make, because then you might realize, you know what, I don't need that. And for me, like, when, you know, my transition was really from, you know, from pop, it's beer. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need pop if I got beer. That's just the way I am. You know, some people can't, you know, some people, they don't like it. And like I said, my analogy of life is, you know, some things are like your first beer. You know, you might not like your first one, but give it a few cases, and then sometimes you might not be able to go a day without it. And for that, I say salute. I say that you guys are beautiful. I intend on you guys to, you know, spread some love today. Of course, I got to share my matrix hack before I go to let you grow and let you know that if somebody comes across your mind, if you're staring at somebody in traffic, across from you at the gym, if you're on the other line of the phone, and if somebody, like I said, somebody's just randomly on your mind, man, just really, you know, really go back and think about this and just intend on that person, that soul, to have a beautiful day, to feel love in some kind of way. You go along your day, and you just hacked the matrix. You just made the world a better place. You got purpose here. You're beautiful. Like I said, I love you guys. Make sure you follow me on that social media. Check out my Cat C, taking care of the neighborhood. My wolf and my bear always there. Drop me a line in the BCC. We'll put something together for you. There's going to be plenty more beautiful experiences to come. I love you guys. I'll be seeing you around. Peace.